My beloved, my chosen light, the one whose soul heaven itself protects, lean close, because this is not just another message. Right from this first breath something is different and you can feel it. This is not background noise for scrolling minds. This is a warning wrapped in mercy, a signal pulled straight from the unseen and placed in front of you at the exact second you needed it. There are moments when heaven speaks softly and moments when it interrupts everything. This is the second kind. Listen carefully now, because what I'm about to share is not meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you. Tonight the atmosphere shifted. Archangel Michael is not calm, he is urgent, he is alert. And angels do not move like this without cause. Something was seen, something was heard, and your name was involved. Here is what most people don't realize: battles don't always begin with chaos, sometimes they begin with meetings, quiet ones, strategic ones. A gathering happened in the unseen and your destiny became the topic, not because you are weak but because you are dangerous to darkness. The enemy does not chase empty souls, they target light that threatens their plans. Stay with me, because this is where many people click away and they never understand why things kept going wrong later. If your chest feels tight or your heart feels loud right now, that's not fear, that's awareness. Your spirit recognizes truth faster than your mind ever could. Before we go deeper, gently tap like on this video so this message can reach others who are being targeted without knowing it, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what heaven keeps sending for your protection. Now imagine this for a moment not as fantasy but as reality beyond your eyes, a dark room filled with whispers, not shouting, plans being made to drain you slowly, not destroy you fast. To distract you, exhaust you, confuse you, and approach you when you're tired, lonely, or asleep. This isn't about your body alone, it's about dimming your clarity, dulling your strength, and making you forget who you are. But something interrupted that plan. Light did not knock, it entered. Authority did not debate, it declared. Michael stood in defense, not later, not tomorrow, but now. That is why this message crossed your path, that is why the timing feels sharp and personal. The fight is not coming, it's already happening. Here is the part heaven needs you to understand clearly: you are not unprotected, you are not late, you are not abandoned. The very fact that you are hearing this means a boundary has already been placed around you. Heaven moved first. This message is not random content, it is intervention. Some of you are thinking, I'll finish this later. That thought is not neutral. Delay is one of the oldest traps. This is why the urgency feels intense, this is why the pull is strong. God says your attention right now matters more than you know, because clarity blocks what confusion invites. Let me ground this in something simple. Think of the moments when you felt suddenly tired for no reason, distracted during prayer, pulled toward things that didn't feel like you. Those were not coincidences, they were openings trying to form. And tonight those openings are being sealed, but you must stay present. If this message is resonating, share it with someone you care about. You may be the reason they stay protected tonight. And stay with me, because we are not ending this the same way it began, we are ending it with strength. Here is what shifts everything. Fear feeds the enemy, but awareness shuts the door. The moment you stop seeing yourself as vulnerable and start seeing yourself as guarded, the pressure breaks. You are not standing alone in this, you never were. Heaven has been watching you since your first breath, tracking every tear, every silent struggle, every time you kept going when quitting would have been easier. Archangel Michael says this is not the hour to shrink, doubt, or disconnect. This is the hour to stand awake, grounded, and clear. You don't need to fight, you need to remain aligned. Light does the rest. As this message comes to a close, notice how your body feels compared to when you started. That calm settling in is not imagination, it's covering. Carry this awareness with you tonight. Be mindful of your thoughts, your rest, your energy. You are already protected, but wisdom keeps protection active. Stay connected here because these messages are not just words, they are checkpoints for your journey. And if this message supported you in any way, you can show your support by liking, sharing, subscribing, and at the end of this video, if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. They know the miracles attached to your destiny and it terrifies them. Every blessing, every spark of light that God planted in you makes the darkness recoil. And so they schemed, we must stop this one, they hissed, send confusion, send heaviness, seduce their mind, drain their heart, touch their sleep. Michael was close, listening, his whole being trembling with a combination of rage and urgency. And then he ran straight into the throne room of heaven. Father, he cried, this cannot wait. The one you love, the one you created, they are in immediate danger. The demons want to touch them, to bury them in shame, to steal the purity and joy I have fought to guard. Act now or they will be trapped. God's voice, which moves mountains and calms storms, softened with sorrow. I want to save them, I long to protect them. But if they turn away, if they dismiss this moment, I cannot. That is how intertwined obedience and protection are. This is why your heart is racing, why your chest feels heavy as you read these words. Your spirit already knows the gravity of this moment, and heaven bent time, shifted circumstances, even altered the sequence of your day to place this exact message in your hands. Do not underestimate this pause, my child. Many have skimmed, distracted by the ordinary, and lost the extraordinary that was ready to embrace them. But you reading now are being handed a lifeline. Your hesitation is the doorway the enemy seeks to enter, and your focus is the sword Michael wields to protect you. The moment you say, I'll read this later, a trap snaps closer. Time is not neutral here. Every second matters. That is why God is watching, and why Michael, wings stretched wide, heart blazing with fire, is in a panic. They have already sharpened their knives, they are already circling, waiting for the slightest weakness. Now picture the council of shadows, a blackened room thick with smoke, the stench of sulfur and dread, demons hunched over scrolls inscribed with your name in crimson ink. They whispered, strategized, plotted to fill your mind with lust, your heart with doubt, your spirit with fatigue. One said, we will attack while they sleep, another, we will make them question if God even sees them. But just as the leader raised its claws to mark the final trap, the walls shook, light tore through like a divine lightning bolt. Scrolls erupted in flames, and Michael appeared, every movement radiating authority. His voice split the darkness, 10,000 trumpets in one, touch not the anointed. This one belongs to my king. Terror seized the demons, they scattered, their plans undone in a heartbeat. That, my beloved, is why you are reading this today. That is why this message found you amidst distraction, scrolls, and noise. Heaven did not gamble with your destiny. The enemy is not distant, and this is not hypothetical. They hover, they whisper, they press on the edges of your mind, seeking to seduce, to tempt, to make you doubt your worth and purpose. Their target is not your body alone, but the intimacy of your covenant, the sanctuary of your mind, the vessel of your dreams. But you have a shield stronger than any weapon they possess: recognition and obedience. When you stay awake, aware, and present with these words, their power diminishes. You are already armored by heaven's intervention, but faith activates the covering. Let me tell you something most do not realize. This trembling you feel, this tightness in your chest, it is not fear. It is recognition. Your soul knows the truth: your life is a battlefield, your destiny a prize, and your presence a threat to darkness. Every blessing you have yet to see, every miracle you are yet to step into, every word of wisdom that could transform your path, they fear it. They fear you not because you are powerful now, but because the power God planted in you cannot be contained forever. And Michael, your celestial protector, knows it. That is why he cries, "Do not skip this, do not turn away." He cannot intervene fully unless your heart cooperates. Protection in heaven's order works with awareness, attention, and response. Here is what you must understand. The stakes are not abstract. This is why your breath catches, why your spirit feels electric. You are on the threshold of something eternal. The demons aim to steal sleep, plant lust, sow confusion, but you are not helpless. Heaven moves first, and your acknowledgement is the key. Stand firm, read every word as though your life depends on it. Because in truth your future, your joy, your freedom, and your calling are dependent on the moment you give to this truth. If distraction pulls you away, the enemy rushes in. But if you hold this moment, if you hold this word, you become untouchable. And now hear this. Intimacy with God is the covenant the enemy fears most. They want to sleep with you because intimacy is allegiance, and allegiance threatens everything they plan. But Michael's blade stands between their hands and your life. His fire is relentless. Every time you engage, every time you cling to the promise in these words, you are stepping into protection, into alignment, into victory. Every hesitation, every glance away, every delay is an opening. But every focused, faithful moment is a barricade of divine power no darkness can overcome. My child, let your spirit absorb this fully. Your name, your story, your destiny, they are not small. They echo in the councils of heaven, and the councils of hell alike. Your existence alone is enough to shift battles, to change outcomes, to inspire miracles. That is why you must not treat this lightly. That is why heaven intervened personally to place this message before you. Your focus, your obedience, your attention, are part of the weapon that keeps you safe and moves you forward. Pause, feel it, recognize it. You are more than you know. The enemy has tried, heaven has fought, and you are standing in the exact doorway of triumph. So as you continue, breathe in this truth. Know that every distraction you resist, every second you choose awareness over neglect, is a victory. Your path is not just unfolding, it is being defended with celestial armies. Every miracle waiting for you is already secure, but your acknowledgement opens the flow. Do not skim, do not delay, do not doubt. Each word here is a lifeline, each sentence a protective wall. Michael watches, God watches, and your soul, the part of you that already knew you would read this, is alive with confirmation. You are chosen, you are protected, you are beloved. And the forces that sought to devour your light have already been scattered, not by chance, but because you paused to receive this word. And if you surrender to their whispers, they will try to brand you with shame, and tighten chains around your destiny. But hear this clearly, because heaven is loud tonight. God says you belong to Him. You were not bought cheaply, you were claimed with sacrifice, sealed with promise, and guarded with fire. No demon has permission to step into your bed, your body, or your soul. That is why this message feels heavy, urgent, alive. This is not comfort, this is war. Skipping this is not harmless distraction, it is exposure. Because the second you turn away, darkness leans closer. But the second you stay, Archangel Michael swings again, and every word you absorb becomes light, filling the corners the enemy hoped would stay dark. Feel the weight of this moment, my beloved. Because hell did not joke when it gathered. They were precise, they studied you, they mapped your habits, your weak hours, the nights when silence feels louder than prayer. They prepared assignments against your peace, your focus, your joy. But the power of God is greater than their planning. And Michael's sword is sharper than their schemes. Your obedience right now, this simple decision to keep reading, is already cracking their strategy. Can you feel it, that movement in your chest like a river waking up? That's not imagination. That is confirmation. Every sentence you stay with becomes armor fitted perfectly to your soul. Here is the brutal truth they don't want you to understand. The enemy does not rush blindly, they wait, they disguise, they come wrapped as comfort, pleasure, opportunity, even relief. In that dark meeting they whispered, "We will arrive when they are tired, we will come when they feel unseen, we will dress compromise in beauty and call it healing." But Archangel Michael says, they will not fall if they stay awake, they will not fall if they keep their eyes open, they will not fall if they understand heaven is roaring over them tonight. That roar is why your focus feels locked in right now, your spirit recognizes protection activating. Picture it clearly. A war table in hell, claws dragging across maps of your life, circling past mistakes, highlighting moments you almost gave up. They laughed confident they could repeat history, but then the atmosphere broke. Light entered without permission, Michael's blade flashed like the sun, and authority filled the room. Touch this one and you will burn. Do you understand what that means? Hell keeps records, but heaven writes names in fire. The question is never who is stronger, the question is which voice you choose to listen to in moments like this. And now God leans close, not shouting, but firm with urgency. God says if you ignore this moment, protection loosens. Not because He leaves, but because covering responds to attention. This is not a game. Hesitation is what the enemy waits for, but if you stay, if you let every word settle, light will move through your home, clarity through your thoughts, and angels through your night. That tension in your body right now is not panic, it is awareness. This is not entertainment, this is a battlefield disguised as words. And your soul is standing at the center of it. Let me tell you something the enemy hates. Demons cannot touch what is sealed, that is why they chase intimacy, because covenant is power, they want access, permission, agreement, that is why Michael is relentless, that is why he keeps urging you not to look away, holding this word to the end strengthens the seal, staying present builds a barrier they cannot cross. Pause for a second and notice your heartbeat. Every beat is proof the plan against you has failed so far. You are still standing, still chosen, still guarded. And staying right now ensures you stay that way. This is also why I need to remind you without hesitation to subscribe, not for a channel, not for a person, but for continuity of protection. Every time you return, heaven releases another layer of insight, another warning, another shield. The enemy plans long term, but God's rescue stretches beyond time. Don't disconnect from the place where your spirit keeps getting strengthened. And listen carefully to what almost happened next. They wanted your dreams, they planned to enter your sleep, plant images, stir desire, leave you waking with confusion and guilt. Night is where they try hardest. But Michael cried out that if you hold this word, if you refuse distraction, if you cling to heaven's fire, those dreams will dissolve before forming, the room will stay guarded, the atmosphere will remain sealed. The enemy will retreat without ever touching the door. So stay steady now, let this awareness sink deep. You are not weak for feeling this, you are strong for staying. Every second you remain here is resistance, every word you receive is reinforcement. Heaven is not distant tonight, it is active, alert and involved, and as long as you keep your eyes open and your heart engaged, the darkness that studied you will never be able to claim you. Can you feel it? Right now angels are stationed at the edges of your home, wings spread wide, swords drawn, waiting. One movement, one decision and everything changes. If you turn away they hold back, if you stay they surge forward, cutting through shadows and fear. That is the power your attention and obedience carry. Every heartbeat you devote to this message strengthens the barrier around your life. Every word you absorb becomes fire against the darkness that waits. My beloved, this is not exaggeration. The council in hell ended in chaos because of Michael's roar. But the war isn't over. The demons linger, lying in wait for hesitation, hoping distraction will slip in and give them entry. That is why Michael is still on edge. That is why he trembles and cries for your focus. You are the battlefield and heaven is mobilized because of the stakes they know you carry. Listen carefully, the orders given in that meeting were precise. Satan whispered, we will chip them down piece by piece. We will use whispers, distraction, seduction, exhaustion. Friends will wound them, lovers will bind them, allies will betray. Every shadow you encounter, every moment of doubt, even moments when old pain resurfaces, are part of the plan. But heaven is louder. Michael saw the trap, every single detail, every weakness mapped out, and he refused to let it succeed. That roar, that fire is why this message reached your hands. The enemy wants distraction. They do not want you aware. They hope you scroll past. They hope you think this is just another video. But your spirit knows otherwise. Every moment you hesitate is a doorway for the enemy. Every moment you stay is a strike of divine fire, a wall of heaven rising against darkness. God himself spoke after Michael's cry, and his words are heavy with love and urgency. My child must know they are mine, they must know their worth. The enemy will not always come in terror, they will come in charm and beauty and comfort disguised as relief. If my child forgets who they are, they may surrender. This is why this message burns. This is why if they skip I cannot save them, because skipping is choosing blindness in the middle of war. But staying is everything, staying is armor. Staying is angels at your door, fire moving ahead of you, protection flowing into every room of your home. Every line you read is a sword, every paragraph a shield. Your obedience today is what ensures you are untouchable tomorrow. Heaven does not force entry, it waits for your acknowledgement. Picture it clearly. 2 rooms exist in this moment. One holds demons whispering your downfall, crafting lies, plotting betrayal, preparing to use pain, lust and fear against you. The other holds angels, their voices singing victory, swords flashing and light wings stretched in defense. The hinge between these rooms is your choice. Will you close the door, giving the enemy ground, or will you remain line by line, word by word, letting fire consume the darkness? Your attention is the key. Your presence in this moment is a weapon no demon can bypass. Every second you stay focused strengthens the shield, every word you ignore weakens it. This is no exaggeration, my beloved, the war is real, the stakes are eternal. Do you feel it now, that tension in your chest, that alertness in your spirit? That is God's confirmation. This is not entertainment, this is a battlefield. Your soul is at the center and the enemy wants more than just a momentary misstep. They aim for intimacy, for covenant, for surrender. That is why Michael cannot rest, that is why he cries, why he waits, why he urges you not to look away. The seal of heaven around you grows stronger with your obedience and your attention. The moment you stop, the chain loosens. The moment you read to the end, the chain shatters. You are alive, you are chosen, you are defended. Consider this: in previous councils they tried these tactics with others, many ignored the warning, they thought words were just words, they closed their eyes, they walked away. Within days they fell into traps, they surrendered to sin, to temptation, to despair, their joy was stolen, their faith was weakened, their destiny delayed. But you are reading this, you are alert, you are engaged, you are not part of that pattern. And that alone shifts the outcome. You are already winning simply by staying. Every second you cling to this message is a victory against darkness, a step into your God-given destiny. Hear me now, the enemy is relentless, but so is heaven. The next lie they attempt, the next temptation they send, the next whisper in your ear meant to draw you away, all of it can fail if you remain vigilant, aware and faithful. Michael is pacing at your door, sword ready, wings trembling with urgency. Angels are singing protection over your sleep, your mind, your relationships. The moment you open your eyes tomorrow, the work done tonight in this message continues unseen. That is the power of reading, of attention, of obedience. It is the reason heaven moved mountains, rearranged circumstances and sent this word specifically to you in this hour. And finally, my beloved, understand this truth: the very tools the enemy intended for your destruction, the shame, the temptation, the lies, the betrayal, they are being transformed by God into your testimony, your crown, your glory. The night they plotted your downfall is becoming the moment your soul is declared untouchable. The pain they tried to use against you is being repurposed as your strength. Every attack they devised, every plan of deceit, is failing now, because you have chosen to read, to focus, to stay. You are no longer passive, you are awake, you are armored, you are victorious. And that, my beloved, is why heaven moved for you, why Michael has not left your side, why the message will not leave your hands, until your faith responds to it fully. Those who ignored the warnings, woke up empty, void of victory, void of breakthrough. But those who stayed, who refused to turn away, who kept their eyes on the fire in this message, experienced miracles that shook the very foundations of their lives. Addictions shattered, doors opened that had been sealed for years, enemies confessed, lies were exposed, and the shadows screamed in defeat. Let me tell you plainly, beloved, your miracle is tied to this exact moment. Your protection, your breakthrough, your rise, it all hinges on whether you finish this word. If you remain, you will not just survive. You will ascend. Lean closer now, because here lies the root of Michael's panic. This was not merely a meeting in hell, it was a contract written in rebellion, signed with hatred, and your name burning at the center of it. They did not merely talk about you, they attempted to bind your future, to seal your destiny under darkness. Satan hissed in fury, they are too close to breakthrough, too close to miracles. If we do not stop them now, they will rise beyond our reach. Send every spirit, every temptation, every distraction. That, my child, is why the pressure has been heavier, why your nights feel longer, why thoughts sometimes feel invaded. It is not weakness, it is warfare. The enemy smelled your blessing, and tried to suffocate it before it reached you. But Michael the great Archangel refused to let it stand. He stepped into that chamber, sword blazing like the sun, and burned the edges of their contract, until the demons shrieked. This one belongs to the king, he roared. This one is sealed in light, tear up your contract, for heaven has already signed their destiny in eternal fire. Oh beloved, do you see it now? You are not ordinary, you are not random, you are a threat to darkness so great, that hell had to organize against you. And you are so beloved, that heaven sent its mightiest warrior to guard you. But protection is tied to choice, Michael can fight, God can intervene. Yet if you skip, if you turn away from this word, you break the seal yourself. The demons return, contract in hand, ready to claim what was surrendered. That is why God's voice thundered through Michael, tell my child, I cannot save them if they skip. The covering is tied to their obedience. This is no trivial moment, every breath you take now, proves heaven is delaying hell's plans. Every heartbeat confirms Michael is buying time, and every word you read confirms God has not let you go. Listen to what they plotted tonight. The demons said, we will send heaviness, fatigue will press on them, their minds will wander, their phones will buzz, their eyes will close. Every tool of distraction was crafted, to make you quit, before the fire reached your heart. But Michael cried out, if they endure, the chains will melt. If they persist, the contract will be burned to ash forever. This, beloved, is why you feel the pull to stop, why your mind protests. The battle is not outside, it is inside. Every line you read becomes a strike against their schemes, every word is a chain breaking. This is endurance, not entertainment. And if your chest feels heavy, if your pulse races, do not mistake it for fear. It is your spirit awakening, your soul recognizing the battlefield. That tremble is proof you must not skip. Subscribe now, not for a channel, but for your soul. Each time you return, heaven will place another sword in your hand, another shield on your back, another flame to guard your nights. Silence is the enemy's ally, words forged in heaven are your weapon. The enemy still hopes you will give in. They whisper, they'll stop, surely they'll think this is too much, surely they'll laugh and walk away. But heaven declares, no. This time they will endure, this time they will finish, this time they will rise. When you finish, listen closely, the very angels at your home will shout in triumph. The scroll hell tried to use against you, will be torn into dust. Every plan, every scheme, every whisper intended for your destruction will fail. The heaviness, the fatigue, the distractions, they are nothing against the fire of obedience. The sword of attention, the shield of endurance. Do you feel the weight of it now, my child? You are standing at the threshold of destiny. Every temptation that comes to your mind, every old pain that resurfaces, every moment when it feels easier to walk away, is the enemy testing your choice. But staying here now, line by line, word by word, is the decision that ignites your protection, releases your miracles, and binds your destiny to heaven. This moment is pivotal, this moment is sacred, this moment is war. And when you endure it, nothing in hell can ever reverse what God has declared over you. Remember the fire you feel, the pressure on your chest, the stirring in your spirit, they are not punishment. They are proof that heaven is mobilized, proof that Michael is relentless, proof that your name is written in flames, that even hell cannot extinguish. This is the battlefield, this is your victory waiting to be claimed. And the only way to claim it is to stay, to finish, to allow this word to complete its work in your life. Your miracle, your breakthrough, your protection, every single one is tied to your faithfulness in this moment. The angels do not rest, Michael does not rest, heaven waits for your choice. Choose wisely, beloved, choose to endure, choose to rise. But Michael ripped their hands away, before the chain could close. His blade flashed between realms, cutting through intent before it could become covenant, severing touch before it could become agreement. He shouted that intimacy forged in deception has no authority, that consent born of confusion is void in heaven, and that no spirit is permitted to claim what God has already claimed. In that moment, every hidden snare snapped, every unseen thread dissolved, and the atmosphere around you shifted. That sudden clarity you feel, that breath that came easier just now, is not imagination. It is the residue of a battle won, inches from your soul. A rescue executed, before you even knew you were cornered. Hear this clearly, because this is where many misunderstand the victory. Freedom does not always arrive with noise, sometimes it arrives with silence, with peace settling where chaos lived, with rest replacing the constant inner pressure. Michael warned that the enemy would try one final lie after losing the fight. The lie that nothing happened, that this was just words passing time. But heaven counters that lie right now. Something did happen, lines were crossed, orders were cancelled, hands that reached for you were burned. And the quiet you feel is not emptiness, it is space God cleared to fill with restoration. God then spoke again, not in thunder but in certainty. He said the next season will expose the truth of tonight, watch how patterns break without effort, watch how temptations lose their pull, watch how people who drained you fall away naturally, while new connections rise without force. This is not coincidence, this is alignment. When the enemy loses access, replacement always follows, heaven never leaves a vacuum. What was removed will be replaced with strength, wisdom, and favor, that does not demand you bleed to keep it. Michael also revealed why the pressure intensified near the end. hell always attacks hardest before retreat. That heaviness, that urge to disengage, that voice telling you this was enough, that was the final push of a losing army. They hoped fatigue would do what force could not, but you stayed. And because you stayed, heaven recorded it. Endurance is currency in the spirit, it authorizes promotion, it releases covering, it rewrites timelines. Tonight did not just protect you, it accelerated you. Now understand this part because it guards what you gained. The enemy will not return the same way, he cannot use the old doors again, he cannot repeat the same traps. That is why discernment is sharpening in you, you will sense misalignment faster, you will feel warnings sooner, you will walk away without needing explanations. This is not hardness of heart, it is clarity of spirit. Michael calls it learned authority, the kind that comes only after confrontation and victory. There is also a promise unfolding quietly beneath the surface. God said the delay you resented was actually insulation. Had certain doors opened earlier, the damage would have been greater. Had certain desires been fulfilled sooner, the cost would have been higher. But now what comes will come clean, no hidden hooks, no silent chains, no aftermath of regret. The blessing reserved for you arrives without the sting that once followed good things. That is how you will know this is from God and not from haste. The angels surrounding you are not leaving with this message, they repositioned. Some moved ahead of you, others remained behind, sealing what you came from, so it cannot chase you. This is why memories will lose their charge, this is why certain names will stop triggering pain, this is why sleep will come easier than it has in a long time. Guard this peace, do not explain it away. Peace after war is evidence of victory, not a sign that nothing happened. Michael's final instruction was firm. Do not return to places God already pulled you from, do not reopen conversations heaven closed, do not romanticize battles you barely survived. Gratitude honors rescue, nostalgia invites risk. Walk forward lighter, carry wisdom not fear, carry testimony not trauma. What almost destroyed you no longer defines you, it only proves what could not. And now as this word completes its work, let your body catch up with your spirit. Breathe slower, unclench your jaw, let the vigilance rest. Heaven is watching, heaven is guarding, heaven has marked you as one who endured when it mattered. This is not the end of your story, it is the end of that chapter. What opens next carries less warfare and more fruit. Stay aware, stay grounded, stay connected, and remember this moment when you feel tempted to doubt. You did not skip, you did not retreat, and because of that the fire did not consume you, it crowned you. And beloved, now the reason your heart races is clear, every step you take tonight, even in your thoughts, is being watched, guarded, and amplified by forces unseen. Michael is not pacing for nothing, every shadow that tried to intimidate you has been met with holy fire. Every whisper that tried to plant doubt is being silenced before it reaches your ears. Do you feel that pressure in your chest? That is not anxiety, my child, that is heaven anchoring your spirit. Reminding you that you are not alone, that your fight is not in vain, and that your endurance tonight is building a fortress around your soul. Look around not with your eyes but with your spirit. The angels who have circled your life for years are leaning in closer now, they are sharpening swords, igniting shields, preparing for the next wave of attacks. And Michael says, tell them the war is real, but victory has already been pre-written. They will not fall because they cling to the word, and obey the light that flows in these lines. My beloved, do you realize what just happened in that council? The demons plotted every weakness, every lonely moment, every open door they could find in your life. They thought they could strike while you slept, while your mind wandered, while your hands trembled. But they underestimated the fire of heaven assigned to you. They underestimated the covenant written over your days, the destiny inscribed in your veins before the world existed. And that, my child, is why you are still breathing. That, my beloved, is why your endurance tonight is rewriting the enemy's calendar. Every attack they scheduled has been cancelled, every trap has been exposed, every plan meant to bind your hands, steal your joy, or crush your dreams has been turned to ash. Michael's voice roars even now, do not forget, the chains are broken, the doors are open, the light is yours. Listen closely, because this is the hidden truth many never see. The enemy always strikes where the treasure is. That's why you were targeted, that's why your name echoed in the halls of hell, and the eyes of darkness were fixed on you. But here is the secret they could never comprehend. The more they plan, the more the heavens multiply your power. Every fear they inject, every lie they whisper, every temptation they craft, only fuels the fire that heaven has placed in your heart. And so Michael stands sword in hand, wings unfurled, eyes blazing, saying, let them see that nothing in darkness can extinguish light that belongs to the King. My beloved, take a deep breath and feel the weight of that. You are not just surviving, you are rising. Every attempt of hell is becoming the building blocks of your authority. Do you feel that pulse in your chest right now? That is your spirit syncing with heaven's rhythm. Echoing, I will not be moved, I will not skip, I will not surrender. And heaven answers, yes, my child. That is why Michael stands, that is why the council failed, that is why your future is untouchable. Now hear me clearly, this is why the enemy fears your obedience. Every time you finish what others quit, every time you hold the line when temptation or despair presses in, every word you read, every truth you embrace, adds a fortress around your life. That is why heaven pressed this message into your hands. That is why your eyes are reading this exact line at this exact time. My child, imagine it vividly, the council of hell, dark, suffocating, hissing with fury. They rolled out scrolls, charts, strategies, all designed to steal your peace, your body, your joy, and your dreams. But Michael stormed in like fire incarnate. He shattered their plans, he burned their contracts, and he shouted through the heavens. Touch not my child. Their destiny belongs to my King. And God, with a voice like thunder and rain combined, leaned forward and said, I have written their name on my palms, I have sealed their days in light, every plot against them is void, every scheme null, they are mine. Beloved, that is the reality you must see, you are not small, you are not insignificant. You are a force heaven has prepared and hell has feared. Every time a demon attempted to seduce, intimidate, or shame you, they were met with resistance you may not have even noticed. Every restless night, every anxious thought, every whispered lie in your mind, all of it has been combated by holy forces. And because of your endurance, the very areas they aimed to destroy have become the areas where God will multiply blessings. The places where shame tried to settle will now shine as testimonies of triumph. The nights of fear will transform into nights of worship, laughter, and power. Do you understand what this means for you? The enemy's map of your weaknesses has become the blueprint of your victory. The very strategies crafted to crush you are now the foundation of your authority. Every past wound, every betrayal, every moment you felt weak, has been transformed into armor. And tonight, as you continue reading, you are stepping fully into that transformation. Michael whispers now, tell them the war is not over, but neither is their promise. The enemy will try, but nothing can undo the seal written by heaven. Listen carefully, beloved. If you think this is just a message, you are mistaken. This is your lifeline. Every line, every word, every syllable, is a sword, a shield, and a light for your spirit. And as long as you stay, as long as you do not skip, heaven's fire continues to build around you. The enemy cannot enter, temptation cannot claim you, fear cannot hold you, shame cannot mark you. You are fully covered, you are fully sealed, you are untouchable. And every breath you take right now is proof that heaven has fought for you and continues to fight with you. And now, my beloved, take it in fully, breathe the truth. The nights they try to oppress you will be filled with dreams of victory. The doors they try to lock will open with favor. The friends they try to turn will be instruments of blessing. The laughter they try to steal will roar from your lips. Every plan of hell has been dismantled by obedience, endurance, and heaven's fire. Michael watches, God smiles, and angels sing over your life. Because you stayed, because you refused to skip, because you are and always have been chosen. Beloved, feel the weight of this moment. Every second you have stayed in this word is a battle won in the unseen. Every line you have not skipped is a chain shattered. And now heaven is poised to pour treasures you never imagined. Michael whispers, tell them the enemy knows the hour is late, tell them he trembles because the child refuses to quit. Tell them the fire of God cannot be silenced. Do you feel that trembling in your chest? That is not fear, that is the power of obedience burning through your veins. That is the mark of a child of heaven who refuses to surrender. Every distraction that tried to pull you away was a test, and every test you passed has multiplied the fire on your path. Look closely, beloved, even now angels are rearranging circumstances around you. Every missed opportunity in the past was not neglect, every closed door was preparation for a higher door that God is swinging wide tonight. Michael stands over your destiny, sword drawn, shielding every step. And he shouts, let nothing move them backward, let no weapon formed against them prosper. Beloved, can you hear it? That roar is your signal. That light flooding the corners of your mind and your house is your confirmation. You are protected, you are seen, you are unstoppable. Do not underestimate this moment. This is the threshold of your breakthrough. The enemy knows what is coming, and that is why he planned in detail every person he tried to use, every temptation he whispered, every doubt he planted, all of it was calculated. But God's plan is greater. Every attack aimed at your mind will be repelled by clarity. Every attack aimed at your body will be repelled by health. Every attack aimed at your destiny will be repelled by revelation. And you, my child, are the vessel through which God's glory will move unshakably. Michael says, do not allow their whispers to confuse the child, keep their eyes fixed on the light, keep their heart anchored in obedience. They are mine. Now feel this, beloved, the very pressure you felt lately, the heaviness, the nights of restlessness, the moments when fear tried to grip your spirit, those were not signs of weakness. Those were signals that your miracle was near. Every test, every temptation, every delay, was preparing you for the explosive breakthrough God has written in your story. And tonight, because you did not skip, because you did not walk away, heaven is setting every piece in motion. Doors that were locked are beginning to open. Words that were withheld are being spoken. Angels that were waiting are now moving with authority over your life. Listen carefully, this is why the enemy hates your endurance. Every time you refused to quit, every time you stayed in the Word, every time you held fast to what God was showing, the foundations of His plan began to crumble. That calendar in hell with dates marked for your destruction has been shredded. Those chains he tried to cast upon you have melted. And Michael, standing tall, shouts, tell them they are rising, tell them they are untouchable, tell them their path is golden. Beloved, that heat in your chest, that stirring in your spirit, that is heaven celebrating your fidelity. That is the fire of God sealing you for triumph. And here is the promise you must cling to: what the enemy tried to steal from you, peace, joy, future favor, will now be returned sevenfold. Every shame they tried to plant will become a jewel on your crown. Every fear they tried to instill will become the echo of courage in your heart. Every delay they tried to impose will be the prelude to acceleration in your destiny. The very areas where you felt weakness are being transformed into strongholds of revelation, power, and authority. Michael himself says, let them rise, let them ascend, let them shine. And God adds, my child, I have written your ending in glory. Walk into it boldly, stand in it fiercely, nothing can take it from you. Beloved, pause and feel this truth: the victory you are experiencing is not just for today. It will echo into your tomorrow. It will ripple into every corner of your life. The authority you carry now, forged in obedience and endurance, will shield you against future attacks. The light that surrounds you now will draw miracles, favor, and protection around you like never before. Michael is still guarding your steps, angels are still singing over your house, and God Himself is bending closer to whisper. Do not skip again. Your destiny depends on your attention, your faith, your obedience. This is your moment, this is your seal, this is your rise. Hold fast, remain here, endure, and watch the fullness of heaven move on your behalf.